Hi, well, welcome everyone to the Light Your Dream Team monthly team training call. I'm glad to have those of you who have come on live. Just a moment here. All right, give me just a second here. It's not letting me get this out of the way so I can see the screen. Let me share my screen here so you can see the presentation. So one moment. Okay, should be able to see my PowerPoint presentation. Is that correct? Okay, very good. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started here. A couple weeks ago, or actually it was last month's training, we did the show on the go. And I think that and this training that I'm going to give tonight on the loaner jar are two very powerful ways for anybody, but especially a new person, to start to build their customer base. And if you do these things consistently, I have no doubt that you'll be able to grow a very successful business. Okay. So this is called the loaner jar training. So we know that candles are a sensory product and people like to touch and smell them. So while our websites and product guides can give a good description of the fragrances and notes, there's really nothing like being able to smell it. And we know that once someone tries Emia Bella and discovers the realistic and powerful scent, they will want to buy. You just have to get it in front of them. Okay, so once they really experience the difference of a palm wax burning clean, even, they won't want to buy another candle. But you have to educate them on why we are different. And so this method is going to give them that opportunity to try before they buy. We know that posting, pictures on social media without a personal invite rarely results in the desired action of someone reaching out to you. Those things are good to kind of expose your business to others on your social media platforms, but you cannot rely on that to drive your business. It really requires a personal invitation from you to your warm market to try your product. Okay, now all of this training can be found on our exclusive team training site, the miabellatraining.com. Under the retailing tab, there is a sub tab that is labeled loaner jar method. So you'll be able to find the PowerPoint, the recording, and then the script on that training site once I get it all up there. So you'll be able to kind of review this information again, time and time again. Okay, so you're in business and you made an investment. Okay, now how do you pay off that enrollment package that you bought to launch your business? And that exactly is what that kit is for. It's to launch your business. It's going to provide you with valuable tools to be successful in this new business. It's really not like a franchise fee. You're not simply paying to be able to represent the parent company. You are actually receiving tools that are going to help you in building a genuine business. Okay. And as you learned while researching Sensations, you probably figured out that there are many ways in which we can retail our products. You may have an interest in doing an open house to announce your new business, which we call a business launch. Okay, or maybe you want to do home parties, holiday boutiques, small business expos, county and state fairs, the farmers markets, all those things that are going to be coming up this summer. Maybe you want to do fundraising events. All of these methods are going to require a learning curve, though. So you are going to need to gain some knowledge on how to prepare for such an event and then implement what you have learned conceptually. You're probably going to have to learn a few things, trial and error, get better, make adjustments, go and do another show until you get enough experience and confidence that you can start to be successful doing these other methods. But we also know that it takes some money to be able to purchase enough product to be able to display and sell at these types of events. And if you're on a tight budget as a new business owner, this can be challenging. They're all viable, fun, profitable ways to earn money with Sensations. And you're going to want to do these things. You're going to want to implement them into your business eventually. But how does a brand new person without this knowledge and experience yet go about recouping that initial investment in their enrollment package within the first month of business. Okay. We really believe that that method is this loaner jar. So your enrollment package, it's going to serve two purposes. Hang on here, I'm going to slide behind. Okay, so you're going to have product that you can try yourself. So you really have to get firsthand experience with what you're going to be marketing. If you don't try it, how can you share it with others? So part of that enrollment kit is for you to try it yourself. And we know that facts tell and stories sell. So we want you to develop your story. You want to be able to tell people, why do you like the Mia Bella candle? Why would someone else be excited about your experience? Maybe if you got in it really for the business part, what excited you about our business and our rewards plan? On our training site, again, there is a page that is a template to walk you through how to develop this story, whether you're kind of taking a product approach or a business approach. So there's information there on how to develop your story, but you're going to want to be able to tell people in a very short amount of time, a real quick explanation of why you got into business. Okay. And then the other part is giving you tools to share your product with others. So, no matter which enrollment package that you chose, whether it was the $59.95 or all the way up to the $119.95, you're going to be getting either 16-ounce jars or Bella Bucks, which is credit to purchase product. And you're going to want to get some jars in hand. Okay. Let's see if I can move this here out of the way. And then with this enrollment kit, we really don't want you selling all of it off in that first month. There's going to be plenty of time for you to be selling, but we want you to go ahead and use a few of the jars. Again, as I said, you've got to get that firsthand experience so that you know what you are promoting. And this loaner can be used for other products. Once you kind of get a hang of this, maybe you want to do a try before you buy with our scent sways or the Mia Melt Tester. But primarily, the focus is our signature product, which is the 16-ounce candle jar. Okay, you want to be a product user. So we want to be able to kind of demonstrate, again, this is not something that you can just buy off the shelf at a big box store. You want to be able to demonstrate to your warm market, the strength of the fragrances while they're burning, which you can't do by looking at a candle on a shelf. Okay, and even after that first layer of wax is burned off, our scent still remains. Even after you blow it out, you can walk into the room later and still have that fragrance lingering. And you want to provide evidence of what we market, that our palm wax burns clean and even. So again, nobody's going to realize that with a full jar sitting on a shelf. The idea is to let them try this. And the candle protocol is that, we have our 16-ounce jars are about 4 inches wide. So the idea is that you burn 1 hour for every inch across to create an even burn. Okay, so you want to start by burning so that the wax pool, it liquefies and spreads all the way to the edge of the jar. Okay, and then especially that first time, it needs to be about 3 to 4 hours. And then you're going to take this jar and burn it a few more times to get that wax down that kind of that ridge on our jars. Once it gets past that, then there's usually never any issue with it burning clean and even all the way down. Okay, so you're going to be kind of the starter of the jar for your customers, who then you are going to encourage to be burning it themselves. Okay. And it is a little bit strange in that you're kind of offering a used candle, but that's kind of the concept, is you want them to see what it looks like after it's been burned. Okay, so don't hand them a clean, unburned candle. We want it to see it's halfway burned. Okay. So what you're going to do is take one of the jars that you've started to burn and put a label on it, a big label. okay, and label it loaner jar and try me. The idea is that you really need to make it known to your warm market prospect, customer prospect, that you want them to use this candle. You're not just giving it to them just to sit there. The idea is that they do burn it, okay? And you want to obviously include your name and contact information, which can include your website, your email, and your phone number. Okay, and then as part of the Kickstart Kit enrollment package, that does offer a box of 100 of our pre-bagged mini melts in the same scent, and you use these to attach to your business cards. And it also is going to include a set of the top 15 scents in the scent stackers that come with the fundraising program. Okay, you're going to get those. You can, if you didn't get the Kickstart, you can purchase any of these items kind of a la carte in your back office at any point. Okay. So you're going to give them, you know, I'll call them the prospective customer, the prospect. You know, go ahead and give them the jar to use, but also give them a set of those scent stackers of the 15 top sellers so that they can kind of smell and see what we have in addition to the one jar that you gave to them. And then, you know, try to pick a scent that's kind of universally liked. That's, you know, this one is the hot apple pie, which is one of our original scents. So it's been around for 20 years and people, you know, love it. And most people tend to like kind of fruit, foodie type scents. Maybe pick something that's not too florally or too masculine that the majority of, you know, the candle burning population may not take to initially. So just, again, try to pick something that might be universally liked. On our training site, there is some information on how to use your scent samples, whether that's those pre-bagged mini melts or those 15 scent stackers. The little mini melts are meant to give away. Those are, you know, whether it's to this customer prospect or as you're out and about, those are very inexpensive and you're giving those away. Okay, but your scent stackers, you're not giving away those 15 beaded. They're called beaded stackers because you can find them in Hobby Lobby type stores where they use the jewelry little beads to do that. So those are you're going to get back. You can loan them to the person, but you can get it back. But we have a page on a training site that talks to you about how to use scent samples. Okay, so who do you share this loaner jar with? Well, you want to refer back to the list that you made as instructed in your new distributor getting started checklist when you first began. And you don't want to prejudge who may or may not be interested in trying your loaner jar. You know, let them decide for themselves. You just have to explain the gift that you're offering. It's just simply a chance to burn a high quality gourmet candle as much as they want, you know, for 2 to 3 days for free without having to give anything in return. Okay. And we know that once they burn a Mia Bella in their home for these few days, they won't want to give it back to you. They'll most likely ask to keep that one or want to place an order for something else. Okay, now the loaner jar method is just a really non-threatening, indirect way to introduce your candles to your warm market without feeling like you're being pushy or being, really forward and direct. It's just a really simple way of introducing it. It's comfortable. And it's just a way of asking people to kind of support your new business. So you're just kind of sharing your excitement for the new product that you think they'll fall in love with too. So with this method, you don't have to feel like you're pressuring your friends and family to join you in business the very first day. You know, there's a lot of network marketing companies out there that really the only way that you make money is if you get other people to join the business on that very first day. Well, Scentsations is a lot different. We really have a product that can be truly retailed and money be made by selling the product. So we don't have to sign people up. So this is just an easy way, again, of just introducing people to your product without making them feel, kind of threatened by, uh-oh, she's doing that. Okay. Now, this This creates, one of the hardest things for a new business person is to have the confidence of reaching out to somebody. And maybe you got enough confidence that first time to kind of introduce the product, but then you think, oh, but then I got to follow up. And what am I supposed to say? And what if I'm bugging them? And what if they don't answer the phone? Well, this is a natural way of following up. They already know that you're going to come back to get the jar, okay, on whatever day you agree upon. So you've kind of already set that expectation up front. So they're just kind of waiting for you to come back and get it. So again, it's just a very non-threatening follow-up process. With this, again, I love the candles. You don't have to be a professional salesperson with all kinds of sassy sales language. This is just really simple. I'm going to give you a candle to burn and I'm going to come and pick it up. And it's just a natural conversation. What did you like about it? It just kind of eases that process for you because you're just starting it out by giving them something of value for free. Okay. So a little bit more then about, what do I say? So you want to ask them, what did you like best about the candle? And then you can kind of direct their answers in pointing out, well, did you notice how evenly it burns? Did you notice there's no black soot on it? Did you notice that the scent is still there, halfway down the jar? So kind of point out the features and benefits of our candles and what's so cool about them. You can also give them the link to your product guide on your company website. You can either do this, at the beginning of dropping off the loaner jar so that they've got time to kind of look through that guide while they're burning it. But if that seems too pushy, you can certainly leave it till when you come to pick it up and then have it either on your business card or a little label or, somehow, even email this link here. It's the same link for all of us to that digital product guide on our company websites. Okay. Let's see here. So you kind of want to, let them know that you're going to be placing an order. You kind of want to make this an urgent thing. And that's why they're only kind of getting it for 2 to 3 days. If you give somebody weeks to look at something, it gets put off, excitement might wane. They get busy. They don't think about it. They don't do it. But if you give them just, 2 to 3 days and make it urgent, like, hey, I'm going to, drop off this candle for you. I want you to burn it as much as you want for this days. But I got to pick it up because I've got a lot of other people that are waiting to do the same thing. They want to try it for free too. So I'm going to come and, pick it back up from you. And I'm going to be placing an order, whatever time frame you've decided, in 1 week, in 2 weeks. You want to try not as a new person, well, ever as any business person, you don't want to place an order for 1 or 2 candles because you're going to pay a ton in shipping, and that is not a good business choice. So you always want to get as many orders as you can to take advantage of the shipping cost. Now, the customer will pay a flat $9.95 shipping. Now, as distributors, we don't do that. Our shipping is dependent upon our zone, where we live and how much product we are shipping. So just let them know that you're new at this, you're gathering orders, you're going to place an order in 2 weeks and just kind of make it sound. For the others that are trying it and then kind of slide in there, is there something that I can order for you? If they don't want to wait a week or 2, whatever time frame you've decided, then you let them know that you have a company website that they can go and purchase the product from immediately and get it much quicker. And they're just going to pay that flat $9.95 shipping, no matter how much that they do order. Okay, so making a profit in your first month. Okay, if you do this method every 2 to 3 days or so, you'll be exposing your candles to 2 to 3 people a week from your warm market. So these are people that you know and you trust. This isn't a stranger that you met at the gas station and you're giving out product that you're fearful you're never going to get back and never get any follow-up from them. Okay, this is your warm market. So these are your friends, family, people you go to church with, people that are maybe in your women's clubs or things like that. So it's a warm market, you people you know and you trust. Okay. And if you do that a couple days, 2 to 3 people a week, that's going to be about 8 to 12 potential customers in your first month. Okay, so we're going to use the example of the Kickstart pack. That costs $99.95 plus your shipping and sales tax. And that's going to vary depending upon, again, your sales tax and location, how much your shipping costs. So we're just going to use an example of $125, okay? Most distributors sell their candles for about $25 per candle. And this is going to include everything, the cost of the product, the shipping, the sales tax, and your profit. And your profit is $9 per jar. Now, if you live on the West Coast and shipping is more, maybe you're selling your candles for 26 or 27. Even if you live mid-country, but your taxes are much higher, maybe again, you may sell it for 25 or 27. So you'll kind of figure out what price range you want to be in, but it's just much easier to just have a round number of $25 to include everything instead of telling people, well, the candle costs $21.95. Now you need to add on 6.5% tax and then it's going to cost this much for shipping. Just figure out to your area what you want to sell your candles for. Okay. So if we have a profit, we all get the same profit. It doesn't matter where we're located. We're all going to get the same $9 profit, okay? So if you sell 14 of these 16-ounce jars at $25 with that profit of $9, that has you breaking even, okay? You sell more than 14 and you're in profit. So with your very first couple of, loaner jars, you could be in profit. You've paid off your investment and you're making money. Now, not everyone that you expose to the loaner jar, maybe will buy initially. Maybe you caught them at off pay period, and they may have to wait till next week until they get paid or, whatever. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have 14 customers, because any one customer could easily buy more than one jar. They could buy 3, 4, 5. So it takes less people if they're buying more. Okay. And just remember that the biggest thing of this, again, once we expose somebody to the Mia Bella, they're going to buy again and again and again. So this development of this customer base, these guys are going to come back and buy from you again for years to come. Okay. Okay, so you already heard me say that the most effective way to attract people to your product and get them to take action is by personally inviting them. Okay. Go ahead and do your blasts by email or, your mass social media posting, but don't expect that to build the business. Okay. It's a sensory product. We need to get the product into their hands and under their nose. They need to be able to smell it, which they can't do from the computer. I just want to say this again. It's just really important that you don't fall into the mistaken assumption that you have a website and that's going to be the magic bullet. If you just put a link to your website out there, that's just going to bring in tons of sales. I'll get messages from new distributors like, oh, I have this many people that have visited my site. Well, that's all great, but are they purchasing? Well, not necessarily unless you're having personal conversations with them. And that's, I don't want you to just put a post on there saying, hey, I started a new business. Check out my website. Here's my link. Go get what you want. Okay. Make it like they're important to you for your business that's important to you. And we do know that over time, then these same customers, once they know the product and they've experienced the quality of the candle, then it's fine, especially if they're not immediately near you, local to you, then fine, have them order from the website for the convenience of, doing so. But initially, we want to have them be trying the product. Okay, so that first exposure needs to come from that personal invitation from you. And then you can, say something like, hey, I want to bring something special to you. I want you to burn a gourmet candle for free for a few days in your home and then give me your opinion. can you do that for me? Again, these are people that and hopefully they like you enough that they're willing to help you grow your business. And, if somebody came to me and said that, I would say yes, absolutely. One, I know you, I like you, I want to help you grow your business. But hey, geez, if you're going to offer a candle for me to burn for free, yeah, I'm going to say yes. I think it would be very rare that somebody would tell you, no, I don't wish to do that. Okay. Okay. The loaner jars are kind of a more cost effective way of giving away a product. You know, you'll hear me talking a lot about giving candles away, how beneficial this is. It's a very effective in developing a customer base. It's extremely beneficial in obtaining fundraisers and vendor accounts and new business partners. All of those things can come from, and have many times over in my business, from giving away free product. Okay, so this can be a cost, but that cost of giving away candles is a business write-off. And as I said, you're going to recoup back what you spent many times over by the successful fulfillment of customers and business partners. Okay, but sometimes a brand new person doesn't have the paycheck yet to be able to afford giving product away. Maybe you don't have the inventory yet, sitting there to be doing that. So this is the same effect of giving product away, but you're just kind of gonna get it back after a few days. Okay. So again, it's just the idea of getting product in people's hands to try. Okay. And this method, when you have immediate sales and you're recouping your initial investment, this is going to help you in developing your self-belief and your conviction in your new business. You're going to come to know that others value your product and enjoy the candles just as much as you do. So that builds your confidence, which then helps propel you, further in your business. Again, it's in an easy way without having to feel salesy and, pushy. Okay, so this, you can't hide your product in your closet. That's not going to build a business for you. You have to get it in front of people, and this is the way that we do it. Okay, so what do I do next? Okay, well, you're going to do that loaner jar method again and again, month after month. Watch your business grow. And you can also then ask for referrals from those that have tried the loaner jar. When you pick it up and they place an order and they're excited about the product, you can certainly ask them, hey, who else do you know that might want to do this? Who can I give a loaner jar to burn in their home? So ask for a referral. Okay. Now, if you ordered the larger $119.95 enrollment package, okay, you're going to have more jars that are available to you. Okay, the like Kickstart, you're going to get about 6 jars. The larger package, you're going to have enough Bella Bucks to buy about 11 jars. Okay, so that's going to give you product to try yourself, but also then you can have multiple of these loaner jars out there all at once. Kind of like we talked about on the show on the go. The more you can have out there working for you without you having to have personal contact, like a home party where it's, you're directly taking your time. This is how we have time freedom and flexibility in our home businesses. So you can have 3, 4 loaner jars out there all at the same time selling for you. Okay, so what if I'm deciding to sponsor or team build and I don't really want to retail the product? Well, if you are a team builder, then you want to begin discussing this loaner jar method with your business prospects while they're researching the business, because they are going to want to know, who do I tell about my candles? What do I say? How do I build a customer base? How can I and how quickly can I earn my investment back? So they want to know these things, and you can show them that through this method. Assure them that they're, before having made the decision to even join, that we have an immediate way to make their investment back. It's a comfortable, non-pushy, extremely powerful, and duplicatable method. Okay, so that's what you want to do, is teach your team to do that. Okay, so this really is all about just try me. Try me before you buy. And that is really what I have for the training. I do have a few minutes left here. If there are any questions, if you want to type that in the chat, I'll try to take a look at those. And then, as I said, I'll get this up on the training site, so you'll be able to review all of the information later. But I really do think that if you implement this method with the show on the go method, especially initially to get yourself a customer base and get going, that's going to help you earn more income. When you earn more income, then you're able to invest more in inventory. And then when you have an inventory, then you can start doing some of those, vendor shows out in the community. Okay, so I don't see any questions. So I will put that on the group. If you have questions, once you've kind of thought about and looked at the information, go ahead and post your questions in the Light Your Dream Team Facebook group. Now, last month, I did put out a challenge. Anybody that did the show on the go who completed one would earn some rewards. So I'll do the same thing here with this training. Let us know if you have completed an order from loaning HR to someone in your warm market. Post that in the group and I'll have something special for you. So we'll give it a month. So from now until next month's training. We do the team training on the third Wednesday of every month, 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern Time. And I do always try to record them and get that back out for review. Or if you weren't able to be on live, then you can watch it. But that's all that I have for you tonight. So thank you so much for those that joined me live. And we will talk to you all later in the group then. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.